Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're digging into something pretty significant we're seeing, which is this big wave of side hustles among Gen Z, especially looking towards 2025.
Yeah, it's definitely a shift.
And we've got this podcast script to guide us. It's from the Vibe Check podcast called Mastering the Side Hustle, Why Every Gen Z Needs One in 2025.
Sounds interesting.
So our mission really is to unpack why this is happening now for this generation and maybe pull out some useful takeaways for you listening.
Right. And what's striking, I think, is how it's becoming less of a nice to have and more, well, more central for young people figuring things out today. It's this mix of, money worries and new goals.
Absolutely. And it's not just a feeling, is it? This script we have, it cites a 2024 Upwork survey. Apparently 60%, 60 of Gen Zers already have some kind of side hustle.
Wow, 60%.
That's a lot.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, okay, besides just wanting, like, extra coffee money,
Right.
what are the big things pushing this trend? Well, the script points to two main drivers. First, there's this background hum of economic uncertainty. Maybe it feels more real for them starting out now.
Yeah, I could see that.
And second, a really strong drive for financial independence. Wanting to call the shots themselves. Think about it. The job market feels different. Cost of living.
Uh-huh.
So a side hustle, it gives them a bit more control, maybe diversifies where the money comes from.
Right, right. But it's not just about the cash flow, is it? The script really hammers home some other benefits. It talks about financial freedom enabling bigger things,
Like what specifically?
like being able to leave a job they hate or saving up to travel or even, starting to invest their own money earlier. That sounds pretty good.
It does. And that freedom, it's not just about like buying stuff now. It's building towards something bigger, right? Longer term security, making those personal dreams actually happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And the podcast script also makes a great point about the skills you learn. That's huge.
Oh, that jumped out at me too. They mentioned things like learning marketing, actually doing it, not just reading about it.
Hmm.
And time management, negotiation,
Uh-huh.
skills you don't always get taught directly in school or like your first entry-level job. So the side hustle becomes this like real-world crash course in business.
Exactly. A practical education.
Yeah.
And those skills, they're transferable. They'll help you no matter what you end up doing, whether the side thing takes off or not.
True.
Plus, the script mentions career flexibility. That's a big one. In a job market, that can feel kind of shaky.
Having that backup plan.
Yeah, a safety net. Options. You're not totally reliant on one paycheck, one employer. It reduces that dependency.
So let's talk about now, like 2025. Why is this perhaps picking up even more steam? The script mentions accessibility, especially things like AI tools. Canva and ChatGPT came up. How do those actually help someone get started?
Well, it's fascinating, really. These tools are kind of leveling the playing field. Take Canva. Suddenly, you don't need to be a graphic designer to make decent logos or social media stuff.
Right. I use Canva. It's pretty intuitive.
And ChatGPT. I mean, it can help brainstorm ideas, write product descriptions, draft emails to customers. It cuts down massively on the time and cost and, frankly, the specialized skills you used to need just to get off the ground.
So it's like having a mini creative team or a writing assistant just
Right.
there, often for free or cheap.
Pretty much, yeah.
And the script gives some good examples, makes it less abstract. Let's talk Mia, 22, Atlanta. She started flipping thrift store finds on Depop.
Uh-huh. Depop, the clothing resale app.
Yeah, and she got it up to making $2,000 a month, enough to quit her retail job. That's pretty impactful.
Totally. Mia's story is great because it shows how you can turn something you're passionate about, like finding cool vintage clothes, into actual income. And platforms like Depop just connect you straight to buyers.
No middleman, really.
Right. Bypasses a lot of the old retail structure.
And then there's Jay. He's 20, a coder. He used Fiverr, right, to build apps for small businesses.
Yes. Offering his coding skills freelance.
And that didn't just bring in money, it built up his portfolio, which then helped him land a proper tech internship.
See, that's the strategic angle. Jay's side hustle was basically an investment in his future career. He got real experience, stuff he could show potential employers.
Made him stand out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Way more competitive.
Okay, so for someone listening now, maybe thinking, okay, sounds interesting, but how? The script actually lays out some first steps. Step one is just figuring out what skills you already have.
Yeah, looking inward first.
They gave examples like, if you love gaming, maybe try streaming. Or if you're good with words, maybe copywriting. It's about seeing the value in what you can already do.
And that's key because people often sell themselves short. They don't realize their hobbies or talents could actually be valuable to someone else. Plus, if you start with something you like,
You're more likely to stick with it.
exactly, it makes it more sustainable.
Okay, step 2 is about using free online tools. Canva came up again for design, and Linktree for like organizing your online links.
Yeah, like a simple landing page for all your stuff.
Yeah.
Again, it's about that accessibility. You don't need a pile of cash to start building a presence online now.
Right. Low barrier to entry.
Totally. These free or cheap tools let anyone create professional-looking materials and connect with people without big upfront costs.
And the final step they mention is, well, getting the word out. Marketing.
Can't just build it and expect them to come.
No. So they suggest things like posting on X, getting involved in Discord groups related to your niche, maybe even direct outreach.
Being proactive, finding your audience.
And they had a neat little tip. Check the hashtag #SideHustle2025 on X, see what's trending, get ideas. That's pretty actionable.
Yeah, that hashtag could be a really useful pulse check. See what's hot, what needs people have right now. It's good for inspiration and spotting demand.
Smart.
Oh, and they also briefly mentioned tracking your earnings for taxes using apps like QuickBooks. Super important, even if it's not the fun part.
Definitely not the fun part, but necessary. Got to keep the tax man happy.
Right. Get organized early, save headaches later.
So, zooming out again for the big picture, the script wraps up by saying these side hustles are, for Gen Z, really more than just pocket money. It's about, like, longer-term security.
Yeah, building a foundation.
And also the personal satisfaction, right? That feeling of building your own thing.
Oh, for sure. That sense of ownership, of agency,
Yeah.
it's powerful. It builds resilience, self-reliance. It's not just about the money. Seeing your own effort turn into something real, that's incredibly rewarding. Boosts your confidence.
Yeah, I can see that sense of empowerment.
Definitely.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Gen Z and side hustles in 2025, what's maybe the one main thought you'd want to leave with our listener?
I think, yeah. It really highlights how proactive this generation is. They're
Yeah.
not just waiting around. They're actively making their own ways. So the takeaway for you listening is seriously think about what skills you have, even small things. What could be the seed of your own side hustle?
Don't dismiss anything too quickly.
Exactly. And then, don't be afraid to explore those tools we talked about. Maybe even just browse that hashtag SideHustle2025 tag on X. See what sparks your interest.
Yeah, great point. And maybe think about which of those free tools we mentioned, Canva for visuals, Linktree for organizing, might be the easiest first step for you to just explore. It really is about just starting somewhere.